and welcome to the Season 18 finale here on Literary Gladiators, the show where we discuss and debate literature in all of its forms. If it's written work, it's game. Let's meet the panel.
Hi, I'm Tara.
Hi, I'm Gianna.
I am Cyndi.
And I'm Josh. And Tara, how does it feel to be back after a few weeks off?
Oh, it feels awesome to be back.
You enjoyed what you saw these past few...
Oh, yeah. I watched most of the videos.
Okay. And how are you liking it, Gianna?
I quite like it. Yeah, this is a really nice time. Yeah, you guys are all super interesting to talk to.
Okay. And how about you, Cyndi?
It's always a good time when I'm here.
Okay.
Love having Gianna here.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm so happy to be here,
it's
really.
always a delight to have you on board.
Thank you.
And all of us work at the same place, so this is an interesting event.
It is.
Like the ShopRite crew.
ShopRite crew.
Already, we are going to be discussing a work from Reaction's Animal series, and this in particular is Bee by Claire Preston. This series has warranted books about animals such as tortoises, leeches, hedgehogs, albatross, ants, and so many more. But we're talking about the book that has to do with the biological, cultural, historical, anything pertaining to bees, just about. But the discussion starter that I have for this is, the first quote in this book comes straight from A.A. Milne's Winnie the Pooh. And as per its 10th page, Winnie the Pooh says, "The only reason for being a bee that I know of is making honey. And the only reason for making honey is so I can eat it." This particular quote is a prime example of how others see bees as creatures that exist to serve their interests. Do you believe that this book is more human-centric when discussing bees, or do we learn enough about the bees themselves and their role in the world as their own species?
A bit of both.
Yeah.
Kind of. It's like a balance. It might be a little bit more on the human side because, it's written by a human, like a person, but,
It is written from basically a human point of view of how we interact with the bees. You definitely learn a lot about bees and all the different biological, folklore, literally all the different roles that bees play in the lives of us humans and in society as a whole. So I believe that, honestly, I think that you learn a lot about the bees.
like, there's even, diagram of the eye, and then there's, a chart here that shows you... I just had it. Here's another one that,
Which page is that?
This is our copy, page 9, and then
Okay.
there's a line of them somewhere, might be.
What did you think about these charts and the images that they used?
I think you could tell they took it from other books, other resources, but it actually enhanced the reading because then you're not, because if you're just reading a straight up book without the visuals, you now we're in the age where you can look it up, but immerse more and better in a better reading experience with the visuals.
Absolutely.
Yes, I agree that it's beneficial to use visuals, but I disagree that I think that they should have been using visuals that were more specific for what they were talking about.
I can understand that.
I think that, I feel that, if they were talking about statistical information, there should have been a graph that laid that out a bit better. Or the chart, instead of using an existing photo, they had something put together
Of their own.
to depict the way that the different kinds of bees.
I get what you're saying, but I'm not a statistics person, so saying that I would have ignored that chart to be honest with you.
But it would be visual. It would be very. It would be.
I would see it, but it'll go in one eye and out the other.
It would be in a way like the countries that consume honey, and
it's mostly Americans and
it's Germans. Germans consume about 9 pounds of honey per capita.
Oh, wow.
For us, it's 1.1. The British, it was 0.6.
So
and
is it for the tea, I guess.
That was the source that they used for that was the.
Is there like an updated one, like an updated source? Because I know this is reworked, whatever, and like, but is there an updated numbers?
I'd have to look those up. As per this, it was for. It first came out in 2006, and then was updated in 2015.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that the numbers are different from now to the 2015. That's many years.
It's very interesting, yeah, to see what the numbers are now.
That'll be really
Maybe
interesting.
another update coming soon.
They should do like a updated edition of.
Someone probably could do an updated edition of this.
Cause like this is more accessible. People will be more interested in bees. It's in our everyday lives. Like you see honey everywhere.
But it's not about just the honey. I mean,
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to tell on myself because
Go ahead.
I said this earlier. When I first got the book, my first thought was this was going to be short stories and poems about bees. No! It's a college course. There's so much information about history and I like the timeline of the bees. And
I thought that was valuable.
Yeah,
that was good. That was very good. And how we use the honey and the whole history of the honey and I did not know about the motif of bees in literature and
Culture.
history and all over our culture. I had no idea. So this book was a wide eye opener.
Especially when it's like ingrained in our culture so much. Like there's even what was it, a World War II flag that had like the bee on it.
Yeah.
And then there's the lore, and then there's like the Christians took the bee and put it into their beliefs.
Yes.
And like was it interesting about like the worker bees and how that went into like the factories back in like when factories were factoring.
I was more into I thought the utile bee was the more fascinating aspect, where they, during the Balkan Wars, the Bulgarian army would dress wounds in honey.
Yeah, I thought that was really interesting too.
Yeah.
It was really cool. I liked how like it broke down why honey is essential to wounds.
Yeah, I was very
It
intrigued.
has a natural, was it
has-
apperceptin thing?
Yeah, I don't remember the word. Yeah, because like
I can't say the word because one of my notes that was one of the big things
As
I
per
wrote down.
page 94, it was that the sticky liquidity of the honey made it an ideal medium for the wound and to burn dressing because it didn't solidify and tear at the healing flesh when
and
the
it
dressings
also
are changed.
made a barrier between the air and the
Right.
skin too. I remember it reading that too.
Yeah, there was an aspect, and the one that really fascinated me is that it's able to fight against Heliobacter pylori, which is a major component in stomach cancer.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
Yes.
the medicinal side of honey definitely intrigued me too. Like,
Mhm.
I did I had a whole thing in college about using honey and like even bee venom. Like not to nerd out, but like all the things that bees do, like honey venom wise, that we can use in medicine, such as them taking advantage of it to do like burn wounds and stuff. Now they're incorporating it into like arthritis medications today. So I like to see I'm so used to being so narrowed down to like medicinal bees and maybe just like worker bees. So getting the more broad spectrum of it too, and the history was definitely interesting to me.
And then there's like the Manoka honey, and someone gifted it to me and said it'd be good for moisturizers. And I didn't like how sticky it was on here, but it did kind of work on there. And you can kind of, when you use it, you can see it's like looks like poison ivy at this point, kind of. But like I don't like it on my skin because it was like a weird texture thing. But I could eat it. No, it would be good for my autoimmune, because it's an autoimmune disease, so it's perfect for my autoimmune
Issues,
issues.
Like symptoms.
You wouldn't want to eat it if it's on your wound.
Yeah, maybe
No, why
not
would
the ones off your wound.
No, why would I? No, I meant like, not from now on, eat it, not put it on my skin, because then I have to wrap it up in like plastic wrap.
Yeah, and it's messy.
I have a bit of an urge for honey because it is pretty appetizing.
It is.
My mouth is watering.
But I would say the other strong chapter was obviously the biological bee. I liked learning more about. I was more into learning about bees and how they function rather than the media and the pop culture references, because they would often just make reference to them and then oftentimes stall.
Yeah, and then they'll go into like more like the other lore and different other things, and I'm like, well, you could have expanded here. Like I can see where she could have expanded it more instead of going right back. Especially, she should have expanded more on like the lore of like the Candyman. She could have explored more of that lore in there because that's really now culture.
Yeah.
And she could have. I think that was a missed opportunity.
I agree.
There was a few missed opportunities, especially when she went into like more of the lore of the old like lore, and then she changed it to Christian, and I'm like, oh, Christian lore, and then was it like Greek and everything else, but like she couldn't like, it was like her brain stopped and like, oh, here's another like an ADHD person.
Yeah.
This is what reminds me of an ADHD person. Figure out, oh, that's so good, and then they admit whatever changes something else, and I'm like, well, I got lip rash. I'm like, okay,
finish.
Right? Because 1 minute she's talking about how the bees were the only creatures that could come out of the garden before the consequences fell, and next thing you know, she's over in Egypt.
Yeah. So like after like the third chapter, I'm like, all right, I have a lot of friends who are ADHD, so like let me like think of like my friend telling me interesting facts about bees and stuff. So I just picture like, all right, okay, this person has ADHD,
Can't focus on
each thing. So, but like that. But then again, like that's the fault of the editor too. Like the editor could have like.
And it would be part of the series as well. I mean, Clara Preston. Her background is that she is she's a college professor from Queen Mary University in London, and her background is in Renaissance literature. She did her doctoral research on the considered word and image of Cyndi and Shakespeare, and she is known for the. She's done research on and she teaches Renaissance literature. She's also done research on Sir Thomas Browne and Edith Wharton. Her history of bees is something that is not necessarily familiar with what she's done before. And my big question is, why do an all-around biological, cultural, literary, and general world history of bees, and them play the role that they play in our world? Was she the right person to write a book like this?
No.
And
not really, but at the same time, she did the best that she.
Yeah, based on the background you've given me, I would not have expected her to write a book about bees in such a way. Like, I agree with what Cyndi said before. I felt like I was reading something out of a textbook that I got from class to then start and doing like a book report on. It was very what you'd see in a research paper.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I could see that much. I wish that it was more, and there were moments where it was pretty engaging and it had fascinating information. And like I think in the Utile Bee, where she started with mentioning Suggs from Madness on Desert Island Discs, where if he could bring anything onto an island, what would it be? And he chose a beehive and laid out why, and then how it transitioned into how the bee's honey was properly utilized. But that leads me to the point that this is an incredibly human-centric piece. It's not. I was hoping for some. I was approaching it like it would be more about the bees, and I wanted to learn more about the way bees think, the way bees live. She touches upon that in chapter 2, but it's very human-centric.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And I mean, I would give, like, as far as her reference to Winnie the Pooh is concerned, it was a naive and innocent, but yet an honest commentary of how people see bees in a self-serving kind of way, but and even though he's a bear, he's also he thinks like a young, innocent, clueless boy. Which, I mean, you get a lot of that when you read the actual text rather than watch the Disney film.
Like, I kind of like wish you went more deeper into the bee dance thing.
Yeah.
That was interesting.
Yeah, that's really interesting,
cool,
right?
'cause, like, I would like to actually find a updated, more modern version about bees, and if there's a chapter on that, or like a little more about that, because that's really interesting, and especially about how it briefly said that the bee brain is big for little.
She should have touched upon more about Carl van Frisch's research of dancing the bees and the way they dance, because it was Nobel Prize worthy too.
Yeah, I agree with you, Josh, what you said before. I wish there was more about like the biological aspect of the bee, because I agree, like it's very important about like the cultural and representation, but I also do find more of how bees, like with the dancing and how they go about the world, how they see it, and how everything that they have on their bodies benefits them, and all that. Like, I think that's very interesting too, and I would like to read more about it.
Yeah, I would like to read more about that in an approachable way. If it's textbooky, I won't. Because like this is very approachable, conversational. If it's like I'm not, if a book's gonna be like textual, I will quickly DNF it, and if it's for like something like this, I'll push through. But other than that, because it goes right over my head. Sometimes like.
Yeah, if you don't have the proper, like, not to interrupt you, but the proper, like, background, like, I feel like I was more confident in this book because I came from a biological background of I've done this before. Like, I feel like I was rereading stuff.
You should have written a book in college and published it.
Yes.
Like, I wish. But yeah, like, I feel like going into it already knowing a lot about bees definitely, like, affected my point of view. You know, like, if somebody coming in having no idea.
I have no idea about bees.
Yeah, like, I can understand why you'd want to DNF.
But, like, this I didn't want to DNF this one because, like, I really liked it, and, obviously, like, it was just, the wording was approachable. That's my whole point. Like, if I'm gonna go in and, like, read a textbook, it will be too hard. It would, like, because, like, the wording is just, like, this was readable.
I would say it is very accessible. It's just there were so many different opportunities. I read from the Reaction Books' Edible series, I read a book about yogurt, and I thought that was, I liked that one better, because I feel that it really, I think that the way that it approached the topic, it was very fascinating and covered so many different aspects. Even got me to the point of being inclined to going back to eating yogurt that isn't frozen yogurt.
Yeah.
But
I definitely think the approach on how the book is written will get you the audience you're looking for.
And choosing the right person to write it too.
Yes.
I think it would have benefited from somebody that their area of research is on bees.
Yes.
Or just animal science.
Yeah, in general.
Not some, what was it, like
a college professor of Renaissance literature.
Renaissance for literature. You can do a college professor that's in like
like an entomologist, like a literal person who studies insects. Would have benefited.
Yeah, and I think we would have gotten more of detailed of like their anatomy and all this, which I thought was interesting. It's interesting, but yeah, again,
this was definitely a more human, like, I get that now.
But yet she is very accomplished.
Yes.
She's been at Queen Mary University in London since 2013. She also taught at Cambridge. She spent most of her career there.
Not to demean her or anything, like, I'm sure, like, if she wrote, I wouldn't mind reading something that she wrote that's in her
book.
Yeah.
Already, was there anything anybody else wanted to bring up?
I was thinking of something, because on the anatomy of bees, and maybe I missed it, but they say that the bees don't know they're not supposed to be able to fly, which they do fly. But was that in the book?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't remember that one.
Didn't stick out.
Don't remember that.
Okay.
What stuck out as far as the biological was the the honeybee and how they sorted out the queen, the worker, and the drone, and how all of the males are drone, and their only role is to mate with the queen, and after that, they're no longer useful, and they're kicked out by the workers, so they're left to die. The worker does so many different things, and the queen simply lays the eggs and produces the offspring. And I think that was very, that was her at her strongest, because it was something that needed to continue. It wasn't like you could bring up one point and then bring up another point and bring up different examples. This was information that was laid out, and I think that if we explored that a little bit more, maybe a little bit with as far as different species of bee. Maybe
made it like made it like instead of 100-page book, what is it like?
200 maybe?
200-page book, maybe like a 300 or 400-page book. I mean, more like a 350-page book, maybe closer to 4. And then I think we would have gotten more information that we needed for like the technical part of everything.
I think I'd be inclined to read some. I have at least one other book about bees, and I think it has to do with dancing bees. But
that'd be cool.
But aside from that, I think that like the bees and stinging, I think would be something that would be. I know they mention the fact that because of that attribute, that's why people see them more as antagonists, traditionally speaking.
Yeah.
But
they're not really.
No, bees aren't really aggressive.
Unless you bother them.
Yeah, they do it out of fear.
Number one, once they sting you, they die for the most part. Number two, I had a bee land on my yellow shirt one time. I just took off the shirt and just shook it off, and they were gone. So they're not really.
No, they only can see, I believe, like brighter colors, so they can't distinguish you from a flower. So they're just landing on you thinking they're going to do their thing, you know? They're going to pollinate.
Because pink and yellow.
Yeah, like you look like a flower.
Yeah.
Do we have any final thoughts?
I thought it was approachable writing. I finished it. It took me a bit to read because I was reading it after work, but it got me interested in other books about bees. I'm like, this is a good starting point to go from.
It'd be worth looking into the bibliography that she referred to in the research.
Yeah.
And then I have at least one thing lying around.
As long as it's not textbook book.
I'm definitely interested in her other works that you mentioned, like in the beginning. Like I kind of would like to see about how she took the other ones that I forget the one, like the leech and stuff. Like that seems very interesting.
She didn't write the one about leeches.
No.
This is a collaboration.
Oh, it's a collaboration.
Where
different
different
authors.
people.
Like
different
those
people
ones
write
are
different
very
ones.
like
different authors.
Yeah, like these different authors. Like she's made me interested in reading other people, like and what they have to say.
University of Chicago Press.
Yeah, I looked up for the
publishes, or when they come from here, it comes through University of Chicago Press.
I looked it up and I got interested in. There's one about cat, and I think there's the crow. Those two sound interesting.
Yeah, Leech's one was written by Robert G.W. Kirk and Neil Pemberton. Cat is Catherine M. Rogers. Crow is Gloria Sachs.
Yeah, I have that. I want to read on Goodreads.
Yeah, right, on Goodreads.
I mean, they're still coming out with these to this day.
Oh, okay.
So, and they have different. There's edible. There's one of them's just nature, where someone wrote one about clouds.
Wow.
Oh, that's
There's
cool.
one that's botanical, where they write about, like someone wrote about just different, like pine. And, it's very fascinating, and I really like microhistory.
Yeah,
About
I'll definitely be
certain
like
topics.
trying to read more of in this line of like these books, the different ones, and then the one about foods too. So.
Yeah, that is The only ones I've read thus far are Yogurt and Bee. How would we rate this? 0 to 5 stars, half stars permitted? Tara?
I think I did 4 or 3.
Okay, we'll look it up.
Yeah, so I could agree. I think I'm more 4. Only because I find like this type of thing very interesting. Like I can understand like points of views of why people wouldn't enjoy it as much since it was a very scientific research based. But I also really did enjoy like reading about the more humanization on all the folklore history rather than just the medicinal side. So that's my take.
Mm-hmm.
Cyndi?
And I would give it 3.5 stars. It's good. It's good and informative, but I felt like there was so much that. Well, I got lost in the weeds, so there's that.
What part of the weeds?
Like I kept getting lost in. Like
Okay.
I needed more, or
Yeah, the cutting short.
Okay.
And stuff.
yeah.
Yes,
so
I get
I
your
felt
drift.
like I'm in the weeds again.
I'm also giving it 3.5 because I liked it was accessible, it was informative. I liked where she excelled, such as the biological bee, the utile bee.
Yes.
I think that she had very strong moments, standout moments. There were some I personally like the use of the Osip Mandelstam poem.
She also mentioned Sherlock Holmes.
When he
retired
and became a beekeeper.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
That was at the end of the
fact
series.
I
was
forgot.
it just came to me at the end.
But the as far as the the Mandelstam reference is concerned, it was what poem did she mention? Oh, it was "Take from My Palms." She referenced his poem "Take from My Palms," and I thought it somewhat connected to the idea what these the sacrifice that they make in order to bring light to our lives, because it is, as it is, it's very human-centric, and I think that sometimes it gets a little too human-centric and not enough about the what I wanted to get out of it. But I would say more of my constructual concerns had to do with number one, bringing up a lot of points and not really going into them. Number two, concentrating more on things that were media-centric or just references to other things that could have been left out and I wouldn't have thought anything of it. And number three, the use of, I think that the images should have been more specific for this piece. It's nice to have existing images, but that's kind of like going on Google Images, picking images that you feel fit your piece rather than having something put together specifically for your piece. I remember doing something like we had to do a comic for The Crucible, where we had to create a comic book, and I just took, most of us took random images, and the way that it came out, it was pretty funny. It was like I would type in Abigail drinking the chicken's blood, and the first thing that I got was a blonde woman that looked like Marilyn Monroe with a red alcoholic drink.
Yeah.
And the teacher thought it was hysterical.
Yeah.
And it was and when when Giles got pressed to death by the rocks, it was like a play version. So you had this very light mannequin and just these foam rocks, just a whole pile of them. But I think that's one thing for an assignment. It's another thing for a book. So I think that they should have given. She should have kept it in mind, and I think that the publisher should have kept it in mind too, where you have images that complement the information.
I agree.
But if you are interested in reading this, here is my copy. It is Tara's got the same one. This was published in 2006 and then again in 2015. And there are a lot of books in the reaction
I think it's called the Animal Series or something.
This is the animal series in particular. There's a few others too. But otherwise, I wanted to thank everybody for tuning in for our 18th season. We had 21 excellent discussions, and I wanted to do a roll call of everybody that took part. First, Gianna, who completed her first season.
Yes.
Thank you. Jan, who also completed her first season. Sam, who completed his first season. Aiden, who completed his second season. Tara, who completed her fourth season. Cyndi, who completed her seventh season.
Dang.
Nick, who completed his eighth season. Kayla, who completed her 12th season. Ari, who completed his 16th season. Larry, who also completed his 16th season. Dan, who completed his 17th season. And Charlie, who, aside from myself, is the only other person to have completed all 18 seasons of the show. Having a great group of people like this is why I enjoy doing the show and why the show keeps going. And I definitely am looking forward to future seasons.
Me too.
Yes.
Yes.
And I want to thank you for continuing to watch and support us. I hope that you've enjoyed what you saw, and I hope you check out some more videos from our channel. We have a lot already up, and we have a lot more that is coming. And if you really like what you see, please support us on our Patreon, for the money that we make will allow us to provide you, the viewer, with even more great content. Be sure to join us next time for another season here on Literary Gladiators. For now, keep reading.